Today in our 2012 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited, we're going to be installing Aries rear inner fender liners, part number AA25000350. And this is what our rear inner fender liners are going to look when it's installed. They really cover much more than what was there, so you've got this whole area blocked off to help keep that mud and dirt from the trail getting up underneath, soaking into the bottom, causing corrosion. You've now got it on the outside where you can easily wash it off. It's aluminum construction with black powder coat finish. It's going to be lightweight, protect against the elements, being corrosion resistant, as well as more durable than any factory plastic liner. Additionally, its rugged look is going to help put you over the top and really have a better stance out there next to the other Jeeps. The Aries logo has perforated holes with a cover behind it. This will allow it to breathe inside there for moisture to evaporate and dissipate, but will provide splash protection to keep moisture from building up on components behind it. You'll begin your installation by removing your old fender flares. Now, our factory fender flares have already been removed in this video by our customer, so they're not here for us to show you how to remove them, but there are going to be several bolts that run along the inside that you'll just need to take out. Most factory hardware on those uses a 10mm socket. Once you've got your fender flare removed, we'll take our new inner liner. We're here on our passenger rear side. We want to line up the holes in our inner liner with the factory holes. And if any holes do not have a hole behind it when you're lining it up, we'll want to mark that hole so we can drill it out and install our crush nut. And the rest of ours line up okay. So we'll take our inner fender liner out of the way now. We'll now use a 2564 drill bit to drill out all the holes that we marked. We'll now assemble the tool that comes in your kit to get your crush nuts installed. Sometimes they're called rivets. We'll begin by taking the bolt that has 2 threads on it. The larger threads are going to be left-hand thread. So we will install the left-hand threaded nut onto it all the way. We'll follow that with the spacer and then a flat washer. And we'll thread our crush nut until it hits our flat washer. We'll now take our rivet, we're going to place it in the hole. You will hold the nut with one tool and you'll turn the bolt with another. And what this is going to do is it's going to spread that nut out to keep it in place. Once you've got it crushed, simply loosen your tool up and just unthread it. We're not going to repeat that for any holes that we drilled out or any holes that already existed that lined up with your inner fender. We'll now install our inner fender. To get the inner fender liner installed, there's 2 holes located here. There may be wiring attached to one of those holes. We'll use a trim panel tool and we're just going to pop that wiring out. So we're just going to get behind it, pop the little pin out of there. We'll start by using 2 handle nuts, 2 of the M6 bolts, 2 flat washers, and 2 lock washers. On each of your bolts, you're going to slide on a lock washer, followed by a flat washer. We'll now set our fender liner in place. So we will use the handle nuts to go behind. We'll do this with each of our holes down here. That way it'll hold our inner fender liner in place where we can line it up with the rest of our holes. I'm just going to take a bolt and temporarily thread it into those. This will just help keep it lined up while I snug down the ones below. That'll help hold it in place for us. And we're going to snug these down here using a 10mm socket. We can now remove those bolts. We were just using that to help line up. can now take your old fender flare, you're going to line it up with the holes that you've prepared on your inner fender, and if necessary, use some of your factory hardware. Our customer is upgrading with Aries outer fender flares, so we're going to be putting those on, and those just line up with our holes, and we'll use the hardware that comes in our kit. Just like below, we're going to have a lock washer and a flat washer, and we're going to thread those into each of our rivets that we installed. If you are installing the outer Aries fender flares, there may be additional rivets that you'll have to install for additional hole sets in your new Aries outer fender flare. Now we can just go back and tighten down all of our hardware using a 10mm socket. And we'll now do the exact same procedures on the opposite side to complete the installation of our rear inner fender liners. And that completes our installation of Aries rear inner fender liners on our 2012 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited.